Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Game Vault podcast stream. I'm your host, Mark, and we are here with the News Hour again for the last time in January. Can't believe we're almost through January here. But yeah, we're here a little later than usual. I do apologize for those of you watching live on Twitch. If you weren't here for the sound check in the beginning. A little bit late because of a very special sporting event that occurred this evening, a celebratory one on my end. I would normally be repping the shirt of the team, but unfortunately they wear green and does not really work much with the green screen. So, needless to say, I didn't buy any white shirts or black shirts with the stuff on it, but yeah, so we're just going with Captain America tonight, even though the blue messes with it, but I don't really have anything else clean, because I put off doing laundry today because of the sporting event, as my beloved Philadelphia Eagles head to the big game in New Orleans. Don't want to get sued for copyright. It's the big game in 2 weeks. So, as I said, I'll start off with the house cleaning for that. We'll talk more about stream stuff at the end of the first segment. But yes, that means in 2 weeks, we will not be live on Sunday. Now, I may do Friday. I will know better next Monday. So if you're listening to this, the audio or YouTube video, I will know better on the 3rd. Whether I will be available on Friday to do a news hour. So, yeah, so we might get an even shorter session because there'll be less news. But, yeah, I think there, I don't think there's much else in terms of that. But, yeah, that's all it really affects. I'll still be here Saturday, possibly for RPG thing. There might be something I'm doing Saturday night. Has nothing to do with football. Just something that was planned in advance that may or may not happen. But, yeah, I'll keep you posted on all that. So without further ado, so basically what I've been playing is the game basically on stream here, Adventure Island, which apparently is a very popular for us video on YouTube. We have had some hits. Chrono Trigger gets a lot. And if I check my viewer account now... Not that you guys care. Apparently there are 48 views on it already. So that is pretty good for us. Especially, we don't advertise much outside of just probably the normal YouTube algorithm and stuff like that. So I did something right on that video, apparently. So our Adventure Island, part 1's up. Part 2 will be up probably... I'll put it up with this. I've already downloaded it. It's not long. So you'll have it to watch before part 3 on Monday. Oh, thank you, Meta Militia, for the sub. And welcome to the Game Vault. Enjoy your emotes. And yeah, thank you. 47 months. It's amazing it's been that long that we've been affiliates. Coming up on, it'd be 2 years. Next month, I guess, right? Yeah. Because I think we all subscribed, if you've done it consecutively, we've all just subscribed the first time we got affiliate. So, yeah. So thank you again. So Adventure Island, the game, I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase this. The platforming, or 4 years, sorry, not 2 years. Math, not doing well tonight. The jumps and the platforming stuff doesn't get more difficult per se. It's the weird thing, it is like a platformer. I think I labeled it as a side-scroller too, which it is. But, like, I couldn't call it like a definite, platformer. Just because there's levels where there's barely any platforming at all. Especially the jungle levels are basically you're just jumping over gaps. You're not really jumping on things to get over things for the most part. But what I've noticed is it doesn't really, the actual platforming challenges don't really change. What they've done as we've gotten into, we've beaten 3 worlds now, or 3 areas, I think they're called in this, is that they just throw enemies at you. That's the way they make it harder. Is that they start peppering in new enemies, like these raccoons that run up behind you. They throw spiders into the mix, and multiple spiders. They start throwing enemies at the same time as you. Like, that's really how they've upped the difficulty. They haven't really upped it so much in skill. Like, I don't feel like I'm being challenged on a skill level as I go along. I'm being challenged in memorization of enemies more than anything. So, yeah, still fun. Game's crazy. I don't know why I fight the bosses I fight at the end. I don't think they ever explain it. Maybe it's in the book. Maybe, excuse me. Sorry. It's been a long day and a long 2 days. Maybe we'll read the manual on air after the last episode. Maybe there's something in there that we can catch. The only thing I know for sure is I was made aware that we're trying to rescue our wife, who has been kidnapped. That's the only thing I know. It doesn't tell you that anywhere except in the book, and somebody told me that knowledge like 10 years ago. And that's all I know about the story of Adventure Island. But we're getting close to checking another game off of Mark's list of games that he played a lot as a kid and finally beat on stream. I have a couple other options and talk it over with Tom to see if I should start just picking away at it. That might be the easier way to do this than just spin a wheel. Since especially with Podcast Prime coming back, we'll be doing the roulette wheel of his games for that. So it might just be better to turn this segment into something cool like that. Yeah, it's a sad dad game. I don't know if you're a dad. You're a sad husband game, for sure. I don't know if you have kids, but yeah, the game itself is just weird. It's just stupid excuse for I guess having a game. I don't know the words I was trying to, because it really, even Mario, is such bare bones in terms of, why the game is occurring. But anyway, it's I'm learning new things every game with it, and it is, like I said, just getting deeper into the game, check it off the bucket list. I know 2 games off the top of my head that we may want to try for in the future, but I'll talk over with Tom and see what we want to do with that. But yeah, so had fun playing through that. Other games outside of stream, because I did not stream anything on Saturday. I played some more Balatro, or Balatro. Jeez. What is that? Tired. I finished a deck that was pretty interesting. It was the deck that had no face cards in it. So basically the meta, or the way to do that is to find all the jokers that give you things for numbered cards and not face cards. There's one interesting joker I used. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. It was like it would give you money or chips every time for every hand that didn't have a face card in it. It might have been multiplier too, or something. It rewarded me for having a deck that does not have face cards, and that was a pretty good 5th joker to just hang in there while concentrating everything else on multipliers and stuff. So another way of making you rethink how you go through the antes. So I got there. I'm trying to get through every deck they have first, and then maybe decide if I'm going to go back and try all the difficulties. Still plugging away at it on my phone and, on the computer when I can. So game of the year for me. It does what it was supposed to do so perfectly, as I said in the video. That it's got me hooked. It's the game that I'm going to continue playing. There's not many flaws to it, and it was just it's going to be. It might be recency bias. in terms of I haven't played through FF7 Rebirth since like April. So maybe that unfairly got third because the other two games have been more recent, but that's what happens with these lists sometimes. But I will let you know the top 4 games are all games that could have been number 1. So, yeah, it was a really good year for games, at least top end games. But yeah, it happens every so often. It's why the Oscars do the thing where they release movies at the end of the year if they want Oscar consideration. So yeah. So Blastro or Blatro, and then I loaded something else up. I don't think no. Oh. Yeah, so the only fun thing on the NCAA football journey is, I finally found it's not technically a small school, but maybe I'm sort of like building my way down. I left to go to Boise State. Yeah, that's true. That's going to happen too as well. And some people may argue for putting it on Game of the Year, like make the Elden Ring argument and go, well, it's the game was released and be like, shut up, it's completely different. And that's why it shouldn't be up for Game of the Year again. I can't wait for that discourse. I know the discourse you're talking about, but that's the one I can't wait for. So, but yeah, I went to Boise State just because of the blue field, essentially, when they offered me the job. I'm trying to get to like some like a MAC team or some team in the middle of the country, playing in a small conference to mess around with. Yeah. I know your thing there. Say you said somebody will say I love Queen's Blood, but the open world sucks, which is one of the arguments I've heard. I've only had issues with one open world. The rest of them I loved on my end. I know you weren't pointing that at me, but as a Queen's Blood enjoyer, that only really Gungaga I didn't really enjoy, because it just became tedious, or maybe I just got frustrated, or maybe I was tired during those days. Who knows? But yeah, we got just filling the time until February, when things really start kicking off in terms of the new show that I'm going to do here. We have Avowed, we have Atomfall, I believe it's called. And then, as we'll talk about as soon as we go into the news right after this, I had Gone Gaga. Yeah. Oh, I love puns. But yeah. So we have those two coming up, and then, as we're going to mention in the direct here, there's a couple more games that were announced that are coming pretty soon that I would at least try for that segment. And just go from there. But yeah, so let's speaking of that, let's just get on right over to the news. So Xbox had its developer direct, and it was one of those shows, as most developer directs are, which only have like a few games. I think there was 4 here, and it's just spread out stuff, which is why we didn't do it live, because I don't know if I would be more paying attention to what they're saying than wanting to talk over it. So I thought I'd just let it go for here. And so the first game up is Ninja Gaiden 4. It's just coming out in the fall. Team Ninja Platinum. That Platinum thing makes me very, very excited for this game. Whether I love it and we play it on stream or whatever, I'll give it a shot, because, I will give most, I will allow, for gameplay wise, just to see how it is. Yeah. So, it might end up being for me, but I do like the idea of, things Platinum have done in the past, teaming up. The Babylon Fall people. I mean, you know, I try to give this a shot because I do enjoy Ninja Gaiden a little bit. You know, I'm just excited to see. You know, the trailer got me. I don't know if I can articulate it, but I was like, oh, okay. It's not the game I'm most excited from on this developer direct. I think we'll get to that next. But yeah, Ninja Gaiden 4 was the thing they opened with. I think this was a surprise game, but everybody sort of kind of knew about it. That could be true. I could find that out right away as soon as I load up 4. It might be one of those things where you just don't. It's like the last game for me that I trust. For that. All right. Yep. Then I downloaded Black. Just try it out. I never played Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Yep. So just try it. I'm not gonna try it for stream, but try it on my own. Oh, actually, it's the last game on this list. I thought they would bring it up third or second. So next up was Doom: The Dark Ages. This is going to be released on May 15th. This looks awesome. I played a little bit of Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. Didn't play them all the way through. I think other games came out that kind of pulled me away, and then I didn't really go back. But you know, there was nothing inherently wrong with them. From my enjoyment perspective, obviously they're great games. But there wasn't like I didn't like that. That's why I didn't go back. I just never went back. And then anytime I think about it, something else comes out and then I don't. But I will give this a try just because we are doing that show where I'm trying games that I either get on Game Pass or that I buy personally and see if they make good stream games. It might be a good stream game for me to, you know, kind of be forced is the wrong word, but, you know, to play through the game in a short amount of time and not let it sit. But yes, May 15th. So this will be one of the later games of the 3 that got announced here with dates that'll be showing up on that new show that we're doing. But yeah, I'm wondering where this fits in the timeline. But yeah, obviously it being Dark Ages, you know, it'll probably be origin story, or maybe they made a new Dark Ages, or whatever they decide to do with it. So South of Midnight is probably the game I'm second most excited for on this list. The thing I want to see for sure after watching this longer preview of it, you know, about the 10 minutes and all they spent on it, is that I want to see if the stop motion stuff in between gameplay is very jarring, or if it like fits in with the play style. Like, how much time do they give you from stop motion to 60 FPS, you know, fights? You know, is it, does that sort of shift back and forth get kind of nutty? But from everything I've seen, I've loved the way this game looks. I love the stop motion aspect, but I just don't want it to feel just strange going back and forth. And this is from somebody that's not a frame snob, but I feel that there's the opportunity that could become a problem. But willing to give it a chance. I'll probably play through it anyway, but even if it doesn't end up being a game we do on stream, or at least play some of it, because it'll probably, if I don't get more than 10 games, it'll probably show up on my Game of the Year list, because it will be definitely one of the games I play next year. But the game I'm most excited for, it's Clair Obscura Expedition 33. Oh, by the way, South of Midnight's coming April 8th, so it'll be the third one we do on that show, and this will be the fourth one right after it. So, yeah. So, yeah, it's obviously RPG. If you know my Saturday things, I do love me a good RPG. From what I could tell, as it says here, you know, it has the big skill tree. You know, it does the character mechanics. You know, I don't know. They say unique, but that's just a weird word to use for it. But yeah, it'll definitely have, the characters will feel different. It won't be like 4 of the same characters or 3 of the same characters. Um, and then there's actually a world map, which I want to see how they pull it off. If it's like FF7 Rebirth, or if they did something separately, or if they did something different than even Tales does. But yeah, as a guy that sort of floats in this space between all kinds of different RPGs, I will give most to all of them a try. This was the one I was most impressed with and most looking forward to going through this developer direct. It's the one I hope clicks, because it might become a Saturday game for me. But yeah. So this one's coming April 24th, so the end of April here. For this. And then the final game down here. Or that is the final game. Yeah, so that was basically the direct. Like I said, we didn't watch it and talk over it or anything, because it was just 4 games, extended looks at them with developer stuff, and I would be, and I know a lot of people would probably be much more into sort of wanting to understand what they were going for in the interviews and stuff like that, even though it is all obviously edited and made in-house, so no hard questions really. But yeah, so those were the games that were announced. Nothing. If you go back and look at some of these developer directs, some of them were real good. Like Hi-Fi Rush was a surprise at one of them. And then other times they spend 25 minutes on Redfall. So, yeah. These are always hit or miss a little bit there. So next up, we have, as you can see in the right-hand corner, it's one of the things I pulled out. Phil Spencer says it's going to support Nintendo with Xbox games. He says, Nintendo and their innovation, what they mean in this industry, I just always applaud the moves that they make. They did a little flash video. I know we'll get more detail over time. Really looking forward to supporting them with the games that we have. I just think it's such an important part of this industry. It's hard with what's publicly out there now about the platform for everybody to get their hands around it, but who would ever bet against the success of that team? They are just masterful in what they do. Switch is a massive success, and I think Switch 2 will be as well. Appreciating the larger screen, and it's like, he's adding the things he said a lot before. He wants everybody to be able to play on Xbox, but it does mean more of our games shipping on more platforms, not just PlayStation. We love the work that we do with Nintendo. We love what we do with Valve on Steam, and that's going to continue. We'll just continue to do more of it. Because what we've learned is put the games first, make sure the games can be as great as they can. We love the experience on our own hardware, our own platform, but our games will show up more and more places. So, essentially, does that mean... Does that mean that, Remake and Rebirth, and probably, if it can work? Delta's probably coming. Not that that's really an Xbox thing. But, yeah, things like that from the Sony side, or Square Enix side, a lot of third party. But from Xbox, I'm wondering if this means, like, are they going to try to do some kind of limited Xbox for Nintendo Switch Online? Or Xbox Game Pass for Nintendo Switch Online? Or is it... it's going to probably definitely have Call of Duty on there, because that's what they told the government they would do. I could see, things like Clair Obscura and South of Midnight going over there. I don't know if those are first-party Nintendo, Microsoft stuff. It means Skyrim on Switch too. If Bethesda stuff, does that all go over? Probably. I think what they should do is some kind of limited Game Pass thing. That would help get people into the ecosystem, even if it ends up being Game Pass Ultimate. Yeah, I'm just trying to think exactly, because I don't know if they have the individual games to throw on there. Yeah, streaming, something like that. Maybe a way to get people to buy Ultimate. Maybe if you upgrade your Xbox Game Pass from whatever the other tiers are to Ultimate, to the top tier Ultimate, you can also stream your games on your Nintendo Switch. Yeah, they'll probably do something. The Bethesda stuff that was already multi-platform, they'll probably touch up that, as Night Duck says. I know you can't see it. I got to fix that. But yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of that stuff. But I think they're going to try and use Switch 2 as like a test run to maybe suck some people over to Game Pass Ultimate subscriptions. People that might have a Switch and the computer, maybe make them give them a reason to upgrade to Ultimate. They could also do the same thing with the Stream Deck and or Steam Deck or any of those other handheld systems. It'd just be interesting to see what they do there. But yeah, Starfield to Switch, maybe, who knows? But yeah, it's gonna be something like that, because Xbox doesn't have those like banger singer player first party games to bring over like a Sony would, or even a Nintendo bringing Mario and Zelda to other platforms. They don't. It's really Halo. You could see Master Chief Collection coming over. That could be a game that could easily port to Switch too. But yeah, I'm thinking they're going to try and figure out a way to get people to sign up for Ultimate. Is my prediction. I'll probably be way off and wrong, but they're going to try and get the people that are on the lower tiers to upgrade to the higher tiers in some way, just to make a little extra money. And so, yeah, be on the lookout for that. It'd be funny to see Nintendo, Xbox doing the multi-platform thing. All right, and then into our Final Fantasy section. The Rebirth director says his comments were taken out of context. In an interview in December, he said Aerith has always been this sort of sisterly character, pulling Cloud along and encouraging him, leading fans to think that they weren't in a remote romantic relationship. Yeah, so to clarify that, because obviously people got up in arms, he said, as creators, we will continue to convey the relationships between our characters through our content. For example, no one will make any official statements about who Cloud likes, who Aerith likes, and so on. So, yeah. Okay, we'll go back to chat real fast since you can't see it. Maybe using the word easily is not perfectly correct. What I meant by easily is they wouldn't have to do anything special to it if the specs for what we think Nintendo Switch 2 are going to be in terms of the power to run the games. Now, is Master Chief Collection overall a mess, as Metal Militia says? Yes. My easily statement there was that it wouldn't take any extra work to do that. So, yeah. And then switching back to the other thing, yes, it's because now they have the whole Zack thing. Aerith likes Zack Cloud because it reminds her of Zack. They just want... they may have their own headcanon, but they don't want the fans actually having one. But yes. Yeah. And so they have completed the story on Remake Part 3. And Kitase says, I'm very satisfied with the story, so I'm sure fans will be satisfied with the final chapter. Yeah, so... Yeah, so story is locked. Um, and yeah, so it also said it will not cheat when it comes to the high wind, um, the airship. This allowed the party to quickly move around the map in the original game. Now, in the world of fast travel, many fans wondered how the iconic ship could be implemented. And Hamaguchi said, "We will not cheat with the airship in part system in part 3, but take the challenge head on so it can freely fly all over the game map." So there you go. There's some high wind news for you, Tom. They're going to find a way to make you be able to fly it. I'm sure what's going to happen is it is going to give you the choice. It is going to say either you can fly the high wind to wherever you need to go, or you can use fast travel. You know. That's what I think it's going to do. It gives you the option of doing both. There. Yeah, Mass Effect's a good example of what you're saying there. In terms of the how the Normandy was. But I think they will also allow you to fly on the actual map. As well, I think the Tiny Bronco was a test on how to do that. But yeah, I think it's going to be more of an option. I think the hub is probably a better idea. I don't know if that's where they'll go because they'll be wanting to satisfy people that just want to fly around in the open world. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But it's good that they're at least acknowledging the fact that they do have to settle in that question there. So, and their final FF7 remake news. No surprise to anyone. This will be a quick thing. I won't get really deep into what they're saying. It's not going to be a PlayStation 6 exclusive when that comes out. So either that what I think it means, and what some people are saying it means are two different things. I think it means that it's going to be part of Square Enix's, it's going to come out on Xbox, it's going to come out on Steam, all day one at the same time. Switch 2, who knows? It's not just going to be exclusive to PlayStation when it comes out. And they're going to get the other ones out beforehand so everybody can be caught up and be good to go. What some people think is that it means it's coming out before PlayStation 6 comes out, which I don't think that's a definite. Yeah. It's just, I think it means that it's not going to be exclusive. It doesn't mean anything to do with the PlayStation 6 release date or the release date of Part 3. I think all it really means is that it's going to go multi-platform day one. I think that's all it means. Yeah, that's what I mean. 2027 is when, everybody expects the game to come out. And the pace would be 2027. If we went to the same pace of, regular system to, for the PlayStation 6 to come out, you says it shouldn't even be a thought yet. I don't know. The 2 years between the Pro PS4 and PS5, I believe, it's 2 or 3 years, so it fall 2027 wouldn't be too much of a stretch, because it would be 6 years, which is about roughly 6-7 years, was roughly PS4 to PS5. So, I mean, I agree they shouldn't, be thinking that, but yeah, it lines up. Yeah, but 4 to 5 is what people are looking at now. But I agree, 10 years is what the normal console length should be. Even if you do the if you have to do like the pros in the middle. But that's why everybody's saying this PlayStation 6 thing with FF7, because they think that Part 3 will be out in 2026 or 2027. So it would line up with the time frame they're thinking for 6. I just think that doesn't happen. And they say it's not going to happen. And I think it's more just a multi-platform deal. Not anything to do with the FF6 or PlayStation 6 release date. And one fun story for anybody still playing Marvel Snap. The very obvious thing that occurred with it being shut down because of all the TikTok nonsense, is that the Marvel Snap publisher, developer, Second Dinner, is going to search for a new publisher, so that this will not happen again if that guy that's sitting in the White House has another temper tantrum. So, yeah. Yeah, so no big surprise here, but Marvel Snap is back up. It took a little longer for some reason, and they did not thank the new president when they got put back up. So they are definitely looking to get out from under ByteDance here. So no surprise. Just so anybody that plays Marvel Snap or has been following this story out there probably already knows this, but I want to make it on the record here because I think we mentioned about Snap last week. Just sort of following up on the stories. And finally, Microsoft announces the Xbox Game Pass Wave 2 for January. So we'll just go through the list down here. This is the part where I just read this stuff off. So if you're interested in anything, I've already downloaded some of this stuff. And yeah, so for Game Pass Ultimate, PC Game Pass, you get Lonely Mountain, Snow Riders. Flock is just Game Pass Standard. Well, I guess Ultimate you would get it too, but you can get it with Standard. Gigantic Rampage Edition, that is just that is across the board there as well. Kunitsu Gami, Path of the Goddess, I picked that up as well. That's already out. Magical Delicacy, now you can get that with Game Pass Standard. Chia, or Tchia, I forget how if they pronounce the T or not. That's Game Pass Standard. The Case of the Golden Idol, which I also downloaded, is Game Pass Standard. Starbound, Game Pass Ultimate and Standard. Eternal Strands, Game Pass Ultimate, PC Game Pass, not on Standard. Orcs Must Die, Death Trap, Ultimate and PC, not Standard. Shady Part of Me, that's available everywhere. Sniper Elite Resistance, Ultimate and PC, no Standard. Citizen Sleeper 2, Star Wars Vector, that's just Ultimate and PC, no Standard. And Far Cry New Dawn, that is across the board, Ultimate, PC, and Game Pass and Standard. For those of you playing games on Xbox Game Pass and have not beaten these games yet, here are the games leaving on the 31st, so on Friday. I believe that's Oaknard. I believe how you say that. Broforce Forever, Darkest Dungeon, Death's Door, Maquette, and Serious Sam Siberian Mayhem. So that, for those of you that pay attention to the Game Pass news, yeah, I guess it's either a remake or now it's whatever. You're mentioning Flock there, Tom. Yeah, but now that everything has 3 levels, I'm always confused. The PlayStation one confuses the hell out of me. That's me. To be honest, that's the main reason I put the PlayStation stuff in here, is so that I know what I can download. Because I did not get the ultimate highest tier for PlayStation because I don't do it much. And to be 100% honest with you, I didn't even sign up for Nintendo Switch Online again after my thing expired in December. I may pop it in when I need it for like a trip or something for like $3. But having the Mister, I'm like, I don't need this. I can play better versions of it on my TV. So, yeah, that's the main reason this has become a segment, is so that Mark knows what he can get with PlayStation. And also, we add the Prime Gaming thing whenever that pops up. So, you can just figure out what games you get for free on there and probably never play. So, yeah, so those of you that do pay attention to Game Pass stuff, that's everything that's going on in the end of January here. So be sure to jump in, download, or finish the games that are going out. And that will do it for tonight. As a reminder, we will be here tonight with Adventure Island. And then Thursday, we'll be finishing up our side questing stuff, possibly, with Chrono Trigger. We're going to be finishing Robo's Weapon. We only got the final fight to do for that. And then we might do 1 or 2 more depending on if we want to do it. We might need to grind in that game a little bit, possibly. Not sure. We're going to figure that out. And then Saturday, I will be starting Trails in the Sky, second chapter. So I got to catch up on the last couple episodes of, just basically maybe watch a lore video or something. Just remember the hell happened, because I don't know if they will tell me what happened in the beginning of second chapter. So be on the lookout for that. And then Sunday we'll have the news hour, and then next week will be a total clusterfuck. So just pay attention to yes, tits on screen. There hasn't been tits on screen since pre-pandemic, or was it during the pandemic? No, it was pre-pandemic. No. It was post. It was post. Yes, because I was not in my South Philly house. So yes, it was post-pandemic. But yes, we haven't had tits on TV on the stream in a while. So yeah, just follow along on Blue Sky and all that. And keep an eye on the YouTube. Like I said, everything should be caught up soon. I think it should all be caught up. I'll double check, but I think everything's up. Once I put the second episode of Adventure Island up today. So we should be good. The only things left is like old Extra Life stuff, if I can find it, to put up there. So thank you guys for joining me again. It's been a pretty crazy day, a crazy weekend here for me. So I'm glad we were able to have this show for you. So once again, we will see you tonight with Adventure Island Part 3. Let's see if we can beat another area. And until next time, bye!